Getting the Plus card is a great way drivers can start receiving larger orders on Uber Eats. I want you to have access to the highest paying orders on Uber Eats, and so I'm going to walk you through how to actually start receiving them. If you're frustrated about not receiving many orders on Uber Eats, or you just see a bunch of low paying orders, hopefully these tips can help you out. I will get to the Plus card and plenty other opportunities in a moment, but right now I need to start off with some of the basics. You need to make sure that you are driving where it's busy and when it's busy. A general area that you should be seeking out to be delivering in most or all of your shift is an area that looks busy on the Uber Eats map. How do you know it's going to be busy? Well, it's going to either be gray or it is going to be multicolored. The gray area just indicates that there are probably a lot of orders in that specific area. It's going to be a lot busier than an area that is just showing as white on your map, or if you're in dark mode, it'll just show as black. If you're not delivering in an area that looks busy like this, I'm sorry to say, but you're probably not going to be receiving a lot of orders. But if it isn't gray, and actually inside that gray area, it is multicolored, maybe it's yellow, maybe it's orange, maybe it's red, or it's a different color, that means that you are going to get surge pay and you're going to get extra bonuses for completing deliveries in that area. I would say you definitely want to be seeking out those areas where you're going to get paid more per delivery. These are dynamic bonuses that Uber Eats offers, and usually it takes no extra effort to pick up these orders and drop them off. It is important to note that you can get these extra pay deliveries when you are delivering during busy times. Lunch and dinner, and on Uber Eats, I've noticed this more than any other delivery app, they might be busier later in the night compared to DoorDash or Grubhub. There is a strategy to delivery driving, and you need to take advantage of all the knowledge that you have. So definitely when you think that people are going to be ordering the most food, that is probably when you should be driving. When you are trying to do these deliveries, you're going to want to make sure that you are next to some great restaurants. And if you're not, then you're probably not going to be receiving the best offers. When you are choosing to deliver for Uber Eats, you can find out a couple restaurants in the area where it's busy and maybe even have surge pay. A couple of those restaurants in that area that are expensive restaurants compared to the typical restaurant in your area that you know are activated on the Uber Eats platform and they send their orders through Uber Eats. You want to make sure that your car is parked or you're currently driving around that area with those restaurants. That is going to be a huge way where you can find the best orders on Uber Eats. And why would you sit near expensive restaurants? Well, customers usually tip based on a percentage of their order total, and that means if they decide to pay more for their food, they are more likely to pay out a bigger tip to their driver. There are a couple restaurants in my area that I like to be near when I am trying to receive Uber Eats orders. There is an expensive Japanese restaurant, and there's also a pretty nice pizza place. Those are two that are actually pretty close to each other that will have many Uber Eats orders, and their order totals are high, which means their tips are usually pretty high. I like to hang around those two places because I know that if I am close to those restaurants, I might have a higher chance of receiving those orders. The Plus card is also a great way to start receiving higher pay per order. The Plus card, basically all you have to do is you go into the Work Hub section of the app and you want to sign up for the Plus card. This will open you up to a ton of new delivery opportunities in your market. For me, this opened up CVS orders, Walgreens orders, grocery store orders, or any other restaurant that does not automatically receive the order from the Uber Eats platform, and the driver has to actually place the order with the restaurant. Now, I will say that I don't always accept these orders just because they're higher paying. Sometimes they will take a lot longer, especially when you have to shop for items at convenience stores or grocery stores. And that is why there is higher pay per order on these ones. And that is just fine with me, as long as the pay is high enough and the estimated time is low enough. It will still meet my criteria, and it will be a great opportunity to make those deliveries. Uber Eats does pay out higher base pay for orders like this, just because they know the driver is going to have to put in more effort to make this delivery, and I am all for that. There is also another way in the Work Hub to where you can start earning more per trip. You can sign up for alcohol delivery. I was hesitant to do this at first because I was like, you know, maybe underage people might be trying to order alcohol, and then I might have to like return it to the store, but I haven't had a problem with that at all. Maybe I will in the future, but that hasn't happened yet. And I can actually start getting paid more for orders that have alcohol, because alcohol is expensive. And like I've already said, if the customer is paying more for the order, then they will probably also tip more. This can go hand in hand with the Plus card orders, because if somebody orders alcohol from a grocery store, well, you're probably getting a higher base pay because you're going to have to shop for the order, and it's alcohol, so you might get a higher tip too. If you really want to put yourself in the best situation, you should probably also deliver near businesses. Businesses often order a lot more food than the individual person, and so that can lead to higher tips as well. If you're in an area or close to an area with a lot of businesses, you might want to try to go that route. Try to accept orders that are going to these businesses, because they could have hidden tips on them. A hidden tip on Uber Eats is when a customer tips above $8. And so if a customer tips $40, the order total might come in as the same as if somebody tipped $10, at least on the acceptance screen, but you won't know that until an hour after the delivery is completed and you can see the full tip. And this way, if you're delivering to businesses and it is a large order, you may have to wait a little bit longer in the restaurant to have all of the food items be prepared to where you can make that delivery, and it might take you a little extra effort to carry them into the office building, but I think it is totally worth it for your chance to receive higher tips. Uber Eats also has a new opportunities tab to where you can look to see what kind of boosts are available in your market. And something that I rarely see, but I started seeing recently, there are these quests options for Uber Eats. I have usually only seen this for rideshare, but now in my market, I'm starting to see some quests where I believe on this one, if you accept and complete 5 Uber Eats trips, you get an extra $10. So I don't think there is a minimum acceptance rate you need to hit this. I think it's just if you complete 5 deliveries, you get $10, which is pretty cool because that is $2 extra per trip. And then there's also like different milestones that you can reach, and then you can earn even more money. A great way to start receiving higher pay per order is if you do batch deliveries or stacked orders. This is when you are no longer doing just one individual order, picking up from one restaurant to one customer, but you are maybe picking up from one restaurant and delivering to 2 customers, or you're picking up from 2 restaurants and delivering to 2 separate customers. Yes, it is a little more effort than just doing one single order, but I mean, it can lead to much bigger payouts as long as the time estimate isn't too long and you can still make a decent dollars per hour. Like I said earlier, that's where the hidden tips come in. If you get a huge payout on the acceptance screen for a batch delivery, it is possible that there are hidden tips for both customers and you can receive so much more than you thought you were going to when you accepted the order. It's just something to think about. Sometimes you get a lot higher payout than you see on the acceptance screen. You just really want to be careful that this batch delivery isn't going to take you like an hour to complete only to make around $15. You really have to look at that time estimate that Uber gives you because it's usually pretty accurate. So just know that you need to look at that to earn the proper dollars per hour that you're looking for. There's an option for Uber Eats that you can turn off requests when you are on a current delivery, and I would recommend not pressing this button. I think that you should want to receive offers to your phone before you have dropped off your current order. Yes, it may be a little confusing and maybe a little more stressful when you are trying to find the drop-off address and you are being pinged that you have a new order and you either have to accept it or decline it. Yes, it may be a little more stressful, but I think that you can handle it. All you have to do is evaluate the order that comes in, see if it's worth it. If it's not worth it, then just go ahead and decline that and move on with your delivery. But you make it a very good order that you're going to want to take, and it's going to save you so much time because you're going to make more dollars per hour because you won't have to drive all the way back to your hotspot or the busy area. You can just accept the order while you're on the current one and immediately go to that next restaurant after you have dropped off that order. And I'll throw in something that I would say is just a theory right now. It's not proven, but this is what I've been thinking for a while now, and that is Uber Eats will favor drivers that want to drive for their platform. When I say it like that, it kind of makes sense and it's not very controversial, but some people will disagree with me as I continue on in this point. I think that if you are willing to accept orders for Uber Eats, the ones that they send you, especially ones that they try to send you before you are finished with that current delivery, and you do accept it and you continue to do that throughout your shift, I think Uber Eats is willing to reward those drivers with higher paying orders. And I think this is a big one that I want to test out in the next couple months to see if there's any merit to this opinion or theory, because I think it's just so important and I believe it to be true right now. And I'm not saying that you should try this out. Maybe you should let me test it out and tell you my results. Logically, it makes sense that Uber will like drivers more that accept more orders. And of course, there are plenty of terrible orders out there, low paying offers that you don't want to accept. Because this is a video about how to find higher paying orders, I think I should throw that out there that you may receive higher paying orders if you are willing to accept what Uber Eats is giving you. So please don't take that one opinion as fact. Everything else has been pretty factual in this video, and I think you can trust that. That last point, maybe you can, maybe you can't trust that. I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. I really hope you enjoyed this video on how to receive the largest Uber Eats orders. If you want to see another Uber Eats video, click the one right here, and I'll see you next time.